Welcome to the BioShack, and today we're going to take a quick break from our definitions database, and I'm going to talk to you about a fairly common and well-known biohacking example. So remember, to qualify as biohacking, it's going to be one of our three categories. It's going to be wearable, implantable, or a substance. And biohacking refers to something that is used to advance ourselves as human or to control part of our bodily autonomy. So today we're going to have a really quick look at pacemakers. You've probably heard that before. You might not know exactly what that is. So here's a quick definition. A pacemaker is a small device that's implanted in the chest to help control the heartbeat. It's used to prevent the heart from beating too slowly. Implanting a pacemaker in the chest requires a surgical procedure. A pacemaker is also called a cardiac pacing device. And for anyone who's watching this on YouTube, here is a quick photo example. It's not a photo, you know what I mean. It's a drawing. It's an example of the size and what that kind of looks like. There's a lot of different varieties and types of pacemakers now. So let's have a look at the history of this very quickly. It was a wearable before it was an implantable. So it actually fulfills two of our three categories for this. In 1958, engineer Earl Bakken of Minneapolis produced the first wearable external pacemaker. Which didn't last very long from the sounds of things, because in the same year, surgeon Ake Senning implanted the first implantable pacemaker. The device actually failed after 3 hours. A second device was then implanted, which lasted for 2 days. The world's first implantable pacemaker patient, Arne? We'll go with Arne. Arne Larsen went on to receive 26 different pacemakers during his lifetime. He died in 2001 at the age of 86, outliving the inventor as well as the surgeon. Biohacking. So why am I giving you this example? So I feel like when I talk about biohacking and transhumanism, a lot of people get the impression that this is a very recent concept and a recent ideology. I will have an episode where I go into more detail about exactly when those two terms came about and who coined those terms. But it's not as recent as you think. And if we're looking at biohacking examples, whether or not they were deemed biohacking examples at the time that they were done, well-known examples as far back as 1958 for both a wearable and an implantable. Now, most people, you probably do, whether you realize it or not, you probably do know somebody that has a pacemaker. These are really common devices, and they are maybe not specifically advancing ourselves in some way, but they are being used to control a part of our body, our bodily autonomy, that we wouldn't otherwise be able to control. We don't have the capacity of the thought processes in our conscious mind for controlling elements of our bodily autonomy, like our heartbeat or our heart rate. So when that's malfunctioning, or maybe not functioning as well as it could be, we have developed implantable technology to correct that issue. This is absolutely an example of biohacking, and probably not something that you would have necessarily associated with that term. And in all likelihood, when it was developed and invented and implanted, they probably didn't see it as being biohacking either. They probably didn't even know about that as a term. So that is my example for today. There'll be many more examples of that, and we will go further into the history of the terms of biohacking and transhumanism in a very different episode. Thanks for listening. Join the community. I feel like I say that a lot, but I really want you in there. Join the community on the Discord server. I know some of you don't have Discord. Maybe you should. Give it a go. Get involved. If you can think of any other examples that you might think are maybe not biohacking, maybe they weren't considered biohacking when they were first invented, but now they do qualify as being biohacking, drop that in the comments or on the Discord server. And I'll see you in the next episode. Next question.